Live in Palm Springs at Palm Springs Stadium, Mitch Klessner alongside Andres Tejeda. Game 2 of our doubleheader today. All games are doubleheaders here in the CWL. This will be the Palm Springs Chill taking on the Canada A's. The Canada A's are the away team. Walker Paz is the lead man. He takes down low for ball one, and we are underway here in Game 2 of today's doubleheader.
That's right, and the Canada A's coming in with their first win yesterday, and the Chill with their starter on the mound, Galindo.
So Walker Paz will be the lead man, trying to set the table for the A's. Again, as Andres mentioned, getting their first win. His ball hit in the air towards shallow left. A shortstop will be out to make the play for the Chill. And at shortstop, that is Kosuda Ohira. So while we're at it, we might as well just give you the defensive lineup. Left to right in the outfield, Blake Porter in left, A.J. Pollock in center, Tyler Bonsky in right. Left to right on the infield, Gavin Jones at third, Kosuda Ohira, Carlos Lanos, Swanji Pang, and behind the dish it's Josh Hines. So with one quick out, that'll bring up Eddie McCabe, who takes a strike from Jesse Galindo. The starter on the mound for the Chill, a 23-year-old California native, working from the stretch. The righty McCabe awaits, taps it off the end of the bat, throws the bat in frustration. An easy feed for the pitcher, Galindo, coming right back at him as he runs it over to first and underhands for the second out.
Quick 2 outs here on only 4 pitches thus far, and Galindo's making some great time here.
That'll bring up Colton Kendrick. He looks to extend the inning for the A's. Again, the A's come into this matchup 1-3 with their record. The Chill in a 2-1 record. Both of these teams fair to be pretty similar as far as talent. This ball is skied in the air to right. Losing it in the sun out there is the right fielder, Tyler Bonsky, chasing it around like a madman. And now he throws it quickly back in, but not before Kendrick could be at third with a triple.
That ball was hit off of the outfield wall. We saw him yesterday hit a 2-run homer in the game, which helped put the A's up 9 runs in that 6th inning. That's all they would score in that game, but that's all they needed as they defeated the Lumberjacks 9-6, and Kendrick showing exactly why he's got that outfield power.
Bonsky couldn't track it down. Off the bat, he looked extremely lost, and can't really blame him. Once it gets to around midday here in Palm Springs, that sun creeps out over the mountain right in the eyes of the outfielders. Typically, you'd want your hitters to hit the ball on the ground, but almost the opposite here at Palm Springs Stadium. You almost want to hit the ball in the air when it's mid-afternoon.
Yeah, and I don't think, as he swings and misses here, I don't think that if that ball hit off the wall, we're seeing Kendrick coming all the way around to score. That's, I think, the only way Bonsky knew where the ball was. It hit right off the wall.
So Colton Kendrick at third, 90 feet away from scoring the first run as this ball is tapped down the line at third. That's Gavin Jones, who picks it up and makes a strong throw over to first to get Colton Traeger. So they strand a runner at third. Colton Kendrick triples, but the Chill can't make anything of it. The A's. We'll move to the bottom half of the first here in Palm Springs. We head to the home half of the first. No runs in the top half for the A's. Colton Kendrick would triple, but he would be stranded at third. Tyler Bonsky will be the lead man here for the Chill as he faces off against Kunimasa Suzuki. Suzuki getting what will be his third start on the year. He's started in 2 games so far. So far, a couple of shaky starts for the Japanese pitcher. He's allowed 11 runs in those 2 starts. 7 of those earned, 5 walks. He does have 8 strikeouts, so he leads the A's pitching staff in that category as Bonsky dribbles one foul off to the left.
And the ERA is really what's killing him. He's at 7.87. He's lost in both starts, and he's only pitched 8 full innings, 4 innings in both games against the Chill and the Grizzly.
So Bonsky, the upright righty, hits here and flares this one into right. It's going to be down for a base hit. First hit of the game for the Chill as Bonsky sets the table at the top.
A way to go with the pitch on the outside part of the plate, pushing it the opposite direction. For a leadoff base hit, that's what the Chill need to get things going.
Stepping up to the plate.
Let's bring up A.J. Pollock. He'll stand in now.
Pollock!
Take a look at Pollock here. An everyday starter for them. Comes in hitting .333. 3 hits for him in 9 at-bats. 4 runs scored for the center fielder, who crowds the plate and takes ball 1.
Yeah, you say he's crowding the plate. He's been hit by a pitch. He got hit in the last game against the Bombers on Monday.
He's also taken 2 walks. Definitely crowds the plate, probably more so than most of the guys here. Here's an early start, a pickoff attempt to first, and juggling the ball over there was the first baseman, Colton Kendrick. So Suzuki had Bonsky hung up in between first and second, but Kendrick was unable to transition it cleanly, and stealing the bag is Bonsky.
Bonsky took a great jump, but Suzuki hadn't even started going to the mound yet, so he was able to step off, but Kendrick needs to corral that ball better if he's going to make a play at second.
So Suzuki now comes inside, and speaking of being hit by the pitch, Pollock is going to exhibit that here as he takes a walk down to first after being plunked. So now there will be runners at first and second here early on for the Chill. No runs in the first inning for the A's as we're in the bottom half now. Gavin Jones will be the batter.
Gavin Jones, a middle infielder, and sometimes plays third base. He's averaging .455, 2 strikeouts, a walk. He's reached on an error twice, scored 2 runs. He leads the league in RBIs with 6, with 2 doubles and a single, or 3 singles.
Jones provides the pop as Suzuki throws a slow curveball in the dirt. It's corralled by Traeger behind the plate. A lot of these catchers, Andres, have gotten their work cut out for them in all of these games so far. A lot of these pitchers feeding on those pitches in the dirt.
And that's the life of a catcher. You got to get down and dirty, and I caught a little bit in high school, and it is not a forgiving job.
That was the one pitcher I thought I was really cool when I was about 3 years old, as we all do, and I thought, I want to be the dude with all that gear on. That looks pretty cool. It might look cool, but it is probably the hardest position defensively on the diamond.
Yeah, it gets hot under that helmet, especially in 90, even 100-degree heat. And that helmet is tight, so you don't get a lot of ventilation.
I always talk about guys getting beat up behind the plate. Think about all the mileage on somebody like Yadi Molina.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
All of those foul ball nicks and everything off of that chest protector, which doesn't do a whole lot as the pitch is poured in for a strike.
I want to see a CAT scan on Yadi Molina's kneecaps. I got to see what those look like at this point.
My favorite catcher, Sal Perez for the Kansas City Royals. Talk about mileage. That guy catches the most innings every year. He's had a couple of knee surgeries. It is, again, one of the most demanding positions physically to play as Jones takes strike 2. Runners at first and second. A lot of the guys, they'll use that traditional catcher's mask, but a guy like Traeger today, he uses the hockey mask, which is, I guess, somewhat of a relatively new thing in the game. Some guys prefer the old style as it provides some flexibility. Both runners moving. Throw down to third. Not in time. Carta couldn't get all the way around the bag, the third baseman. A strong throw from Traeger.
Hold on, the home plate umpire's calling him out.
So I don't know if I've ever seen this before. The home plate umpire is overruling the field umpire, who originally called him safe. And now we'll get the second sequencing of something I've never seen before. Runner will move back to first.
So a strike him out, put him out, and runner goes back to first. That is something I've never seen before.
So the first out of the inning will be Bonsky cut down at third trying to steal. A.J. Pollock goes back to first base on the mystery scoring.
That'll just go as a 2-3 as another attempted stolen base. It'll be a hit and run, but that'll be the third out of the inning.
So Gavin Jones grounds out over there to the second baseman. No score through 1. Back with more. Keep it right here. Back here in Palm Springs, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. So we did get a little bit of clarification on that play back there in the home half of the first. Batter interference was called on Gavin Jones. And then Swaji Pang would ground out to second. So no score through 1 as Aaron Ushery is the lead man for the Canada A's. He digs in for his first time around against Jesse Galindo.
I think you and I were talking about it in the last broadcast we did together. You're going to see a little bit of everything here. Catcher interference. We saw the wild infield fly where runners advanced, and then the runner at third came off and was tagged out. Just a lot of wild stuff here, but that's baseball.
Strike 3 looking. Ushery goes down in disgust. All he can do is shake his head. It's a strikeout for Galindo, his first of the afternoon. Just freezes him on the outer corner there.
Number 23,
And that'll bring up Collier Rutledge, the left fielder. So a good pitch by the righty who works from the stretch. And he deals sidewinding action as he crossfires to Rutledge, who swings and misses. So an unorthodox delivery from Galindo, who comes set on the far right side of the rubber and then twists his body and absolutely just creates some torque as he delivers that high three-quarter arm slot.
Rutledge still hitless here in the California Winter League, looking for that elusive first hit.
This ball barely outside. 2 balls and a strike to Rutledge. Coming set is Galindo, who fires. This pitch is a changeup, lofted in the air to center field, drifting over to left center field. And over to make the easy play is A.J. Pollock. And quickly 2 up, 2 down here in the top half of the second.
That was a good pitch to hit. Just Rutledge needs to find some grass.
Got it a little bit off the end of the bat
Number 6.
as Galindo had him out in front on the changeup. So we'll go to the question of all questions, Andres.
Yes.
Some people debate the best pitch in baseball is a great changeup. I would argue the best pitch in baseball is a well-located fastball because you work everything off of that fastball. But
I would say it's the foundation of pitchers. If you can't throw a fastball, I don't see why you would throw anything else. Some sort of fastball, whether that's a sinker, a cutter.
I always find it interesting if you're able to talk to scouts or guys that are evaluators in the game to get their opinion on that. Again, a lot of guys will say that it is the changeup, but I would say also with a newer way of thinking in today's game, guys would say the fastball as Travius Ford lines out to the third baseman over there, Gavin Jones. So a line out there, it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jesse Galindo on the mound. No score for the A's there in the top of the second. We'll move to the home half with the chill coming up in the bottom half of the second. Keep it right here for more CWL action.
Located on Sunrise. Number 11, the left fielder, Blake.
Back in
Porter.
Palm Springs, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. Lead man for the chill here in the home half of the second will be Blake Porter. He is the left fielder today. The lefty digs in against the righty, Kusimasa Suzuki, taking ball 1. And why not? While we're on that topic, Andres, we left talking about different pitch types and what works for guys and what would be considered some of the better pitches in the game. This ball laced into the right center gap. Giving chase is out there is the center fielder. That's Ford, who picks it up at the track, throws it all the way in on a couple of bounces. It's an easy stand-up double for Blake Porter to set the tone here for the chill.
Now Porter got a nice pitch to hit sent it all the way to the wall, having both Ford and Ushery chase it down. I wish I saw a little bit more hustle on the round into second, but standing up with a double, can't be mad at that.
If there's one thing that plays in everyday's game, Andres, it's hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think oftentimes that gets lost in today's game, especially with the increased number of home runs, strikeouts, and walks. But hustle is something that will always play, and speed will always play as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is Josh Hines, who digs in with a runner in scoring position. That's Blake Porter out at second after the shot double in the gap to right center field. Flag waves from right to left. In what is not much of a breezy day, but there is some wind out there.
Now, you mentioned the wind. I got a severe weather advisory, a wind advisory for Palm Springs later this afternoon from 7 to 10.
We experienced some really severe winds. I don't remember if that was opening day or the day after.
Opening weekend. Yeah, that was Saturday.
Yep, Saturday.
Crazy winds. We had all of our papers flying around out
All
there.
of a sudden, I thought I was finding myself back in Kansas again. As this ball is swung on a miss, Josh Hines down in the count.
That's Tornado Valley down there.
Tornado Valley, but what I always find is ironic is the fact that I never have seen a tornado. So, there you go.
Yeah.
There you have it. Here's the pitch. 2-2. Bounced over to third. On a backhand. That's Antonio Carta. Long throw. Unable to dig it out is Colton Kendrick. That's up the line as first base coach, one of the players for the Chill, moves out of the way. That'll be an error on the third baseman, Carta. And because of the error, Hines is able to move up to second.
Yeah, Carta, that ball was bouncing down the line as close as it can be. Carta had to backhand it and then put all of his weight shifted onto the right side of his body, and with the throw just didn't get a step off to throw over to Kendrick. And it was a hard ball for Kendrick to even snag it.
Carta fielded it cleanly on the backhand, and that's one of the toughest throws in the game, to try and plant your leg on the foul line there and make a strong throw over to first.
So guys like Machado and Arenado are able to snag that ball all the way in foul territory and just with their arm throw it on a hop.
Strike one here to Kazura Ohira. Yeah, my favorite arm personally over at the hot corner is Matt Chapman,
Oh, great guy.
who can make any throw on a baseball field. Righty digs in. Here's a strike. It's 0-2. Matt Chapman is what you would probably grade out as a pure 70 arm over there at third.
Oh,
Scouting
absolutely.
scale traditionally goes 20 to 80 for those of you that aren't well versed in that area. This ball is grounded up the middle hard. Scoring is going to be Porter, followed by Hines. Throw coming in late from Travius Ford in center. It's a single and 2 RBIs for Ohira, and the Chiller on the board with 2 runs here in the bottom of the second.
Absolutely just a great piece of hitting, sending it right back where it came from. You can't hit it any better than that.
Just takes the pitch right back up the middle. Always want to try and hit the ball where it's placed on that plate. Middle pitch there, and he goes right with it. Suzuki had to get out of the way on the mound, taking a skip to his loo to his left. And now it'll be Carlos Lenos. So 2 across here. It's 2-0 in favor of the Palm Springs Chill, courtesy of that 2 RBI single from Ohira. So ball 1 here to Carlos Lenos.
Yeah, the A's find themselves again down early. Yesterday they were able to come back with a wild 6th inning, 9-run rally to take their first win of the year.
Runner starts. Traeger's throw is not in time. It's a stolen base for Ohira, and now he's in scoring position.
A great jump by Ohira, but Traeger had a pretty close throw too.
So the Chill are pressing the A's here in the bottom half of the second. 1 ball and 1 strike to the hitter, Lenos. Suzuki kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Well off balance was Lenos. Strike two. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Nice slow pitch there. It looked like a possible changeup that he just missed on. He was probably expecting the fastball.
Suzuki ready to fire a 1-2. Here it is. Inside on a breaking ball. Misses. Even count now. 2 balls and 2 strikes with Ohira out in scoring position at second.
Going back to that conversation we're having with the breaking ball, I think the hardest pitch to hit in baseball is that slider that's breaking away. It looks like a strike and then breaks out of the zone. It's right there, like
There
that.
is one right there on cue, Andres. You called it. Strikeout looking for Lenos. And the second strikeout, that is, Gavin Jones went down in the first. Second strikeout for Suzuki, who again came into this game leading their team in strikeouts. I would have to agree that's definitely up there. Somebody like Jacob deGrom, his slider is almost unhittable. We might have to continue this conversation after this ball is flied into center. Travius Ford makes the routine play, throws it in on a couple of hops to third. Staying put at second is Ohira. So that is the second out here. And we'll go back to the top with Bonsky, but a nice disappearing slider. I would edge on the side of saying a good splitter is always an extremely dangerous pitch.
Tough pitch to just even hit. You get contact on it, it's going straight into the ground.
Absolutely. One of my favorite pitches of all time was the big bender from Clayton Kershaw, a nice 12-6. Good shape to it. Fouled away. First pitch swinging Tyler Bonsky, who's 1 for 1.
He got a single into right field and a stolen base, but was called out on the batter interference as he tried to take third base for that second steal. What would have been his second steal.
How about this for a name drop on a nice 12-6 curveball? How about Barry Zito?
Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Here's an 0-1 pitch in the dirt. Traeger trying to find it at his feet. He can't find it. It's to his right. Taking a round at third is Ohira. He's going to stay put there, though.
That's going to be a pass ball right there.
So now a runner at third for the Chill, who already have 2 across here in the second. A leadoff double from Blake Porter. Josh Hines would reach on the error, then 2 RBIs coming in on the single from Ohira, who now stands at third. Bonsky already 1 for 1, and he takes a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Always love the shape to Barry Zito's curveball. That's a good way to describe the pitches in today's day and age. Shape. Or depth. Good ways to describe breaking pitches as this ball is taken outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Suzuki tried to get him with that breaking ball on the outside pitch. Exact same pitch that he got Leno's out with.
Here's another one as well, another good term that is relatively new in baseball, tilt.
I've heard that a few times.
Here's a pitch that is down and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Tilt is probably the most interesting one as well, Andres, at least in my opinion, as far as that is the real metric or statistic that can be used these days to help shape the pitcher's pitches.
Yeah, the movement of the pitch on its way from the hand to the plate is unique.
Grounded to first, that's Kendrick, who fields it on a backhand. Race to the bag, and Kendrick will beat Bonsky. But not before the damage was done. 2 runs across for the Chill there in the bottom of the second. They lead it 2-0 as we move to the third here in Palm Springs. Mitch Glesser alongside Andres Tejeda.
The third baseman.
We go to the top half of the third. It'll be Antonio Carta for the A's to lead it off against Jesse Galindo. 2-0 is our score in favor of the Chill. Galindo starts out. Carta with a breaking ball. He swings and misses. Went into the break there talking about a pitcher's tilt to his pitches. Galindo throws this one outside, just pulled the pitch well off the plate for a ball. And tilt is actually, the other term for it would be spin axis.
That I've not heard.
Yes, the technical term actually is spin axis, and it's how the ball is rotating. So you want to think of it as a clock. And if my memory is serving me correct, do not quote me on this. This is a good YouTube material to watch as well if you're a baseball geek like me. I believe it's just straight 12 o'clock on a fastball. That's the way that it's rotating. That's where the term 12 to 6 actually comes from.
Gotcha, yeah.
Here's a swing and a miss by Carta. He's cut down on strikes for the first out. But again, it's one of those new cool metrics. Guys will use the slow motion cameras at the major league level to help adjust their grip to find the best tilt on the ball in order to spin it in the best way that they possibly can. So
Interesting. Always something new to measure in baseball, even if it's the smallest thing.
absolutely. And I was actually shared an article yesterday as well, Andres, from one of my longtime friends and one of my former coaches about talking basically about what is the deal with today's game between the analytics departments as well as the scouting departments and how they're supposed to work hand in hand. And it was a very well done article. It's on baseballamerica.com. And basically the article, as right now Jack Allen is cut down looking on strikes. Galindo back-to-back strikeouts for the second out here.
That is 3 strikeouts for him. 2 looking and 1 on the swing.
That'll bring us back to the top of the order with Walker Paz, who's 0 for 1. Lefty digs in, grounds over to second. That's Lanos who bobbles, fields it on the bare hand. Throw back to first, not in time. Now Paz wants to get up and go towards second, and he will do so on the error. So it'll be an error, and Walker Paz is now in scoring position with his team trailing by 2 runs here in the top of the third.
If I'm the Chill, I would throw over to first. I'm not sure he touched the bag on the collision out there.
We'll see if they elect to do that. It doesn't sound like they will. And it'll be Eddie McCabe, who is 0 for 1. The righty digs in. Paz with good speed and scoring position now as McCabe takes strike 1. Just to finish on that topic, though, Andres, the article is basically explaining how a couple of years ago, or about a decade ago, the CIA actually broke their department. So this ball is smashed back up the middle. We'll continue this conversation as Galindo feeds over to first for the third out. So Galindo gets out of it unscathed. No runs across for the A's. And the Chill still lead it 2-0 as we head to the home half of the third here in Palm Springs.
fielder, number 29.
Back in Palm Springs, the Palm
Pollock.
Springs Chill lead it 2-0. It's their turn to hit here in the bottom half of the third. It's A.J. Pollock to lead it off against Suzuki, who's still out on the mound for the A's. Taking strike one is Pollock. So the Chill looking to add to their lead. The A's were threatening there in the top half with a runner in scoring position, but they could not bring Walker Paz home. This ball is taken low and away. Been talking a little bit about some of the advanced metrics. Talking a lot about some of the tilt and educating some of our listeners just on how that gets evaluated or how that metric kind of works. Again, it's kind of the spin direction of the pitch. And all of these evaluators today looking to get guys to spin the pitches to their best ability or to the best way that works exactly, as this ball is chopped towards the shortstop. Paz in, charging hard, throws on the run across his body to get A.J. Pollock for the first out. A solid defensive play there from the shortstop for the A's.
And Kendrick, give credit to him for stretching as far as he did. Paz charged the ball. That's something a lot of guys that I've seen don't do. They let the ball come to them. Paz charged that ball and played the ball instead of letting the ball play him, and just had a really strong, tough throw to first base to Kendrick.
So one out here in the bottom of the third, and that'll bring up Gavin Jones. He's 0 for 1. He struck out his first time back in the first. Andres, we've also been talking a little bit about this article that I was shared with just the other day, and I highly recommend if you are into the new way of baseball, the new quote-unquote Moneyball style and the old style, give it a read. It's on baseballamerica.com. Don't remember the exact title of the article. I think it's something along the lines culture, headlining culture, but basically talking about bridging the gap between the new way of thinking or the Moneyball way of thinking with, just this is what I see with my eyes and how I evaluate it, not numbers based, as this ball is inside. But again, they reference the CIA and how the CIA was actually broken up across different fields, and they're comparing it in the sense that baseball has been kind of broken up across separate fields. You have the baseball operations side of things. Scouts are kind of in their own department as Jones takes a walk. And then you have the guys at the top, managers, the players. So it's all kind of broken up. And the article is basically headlining how the CIA 10 years ago, they really came together under basically as one unit pretty much, and how it was essential to their success as far as the communication lines. Guys were then able to learn from one another, being all in the same area, and they're comparing that to baseball now, how that's kind of what it's turned into. The newer ways that these research and development departments are being bridged in with the scouting departments and the baseball ops side, and it really isn't this battle between both sides as most people think that it really is. There's a ball here to Swanji Peng, the lefty, with Gavin Jones at first and one away. But it really isn't this battle. It's more that the teams that are successful now, they're able to integrate all together and really pick the brains of one another instead of it being this he said, she said, and this is what's right and this is what isn't. It's all extremely interesting. I find it very interesting as far as the culture of an organization moving forward.
I'm going to have to snag that article from you and read a little bit more on that. It's now a 2-1 count, but Suzuki, before that foul ball, had thrown 4 pitches, 4 balls to walk Jones, and then 2 more. That was 6 consecutive balls. Just throw down to second, not in time.
Stolen base for Gavin Jones. He's now in scoring position. Traeger tried to throw it from his knees. We all know how difficult that is.
Oh, it is.
I think he's tried that a couple of times so far in this Winter League.
Him
and
I believe Donahue.
Yeah, very strong arm from Traeger. We touched on evaluations on the 20 to 80 scale just a bit. We'll touch more on that as this ball is lined lazily into right field. It'll be a base hit for Pang, and Jones moves up to third. So runners at the corners now with one away on the fourth hit of the ball game for the Chill, who lead it 2-0.
Stepping up to the plate for the Chill.
Yeah, that was a great piece of hitting. The Pang kind of forced it out there. He pulled it down to the first base side. Ushery had a great toss home, but keeping the runners at the corners. And Kunimasa Suzuki had a short talk right now with his catcher, Traeger. So he's only pitching 33% of his pitches for strikes.
So Blake Porter will be the hitter. He doubled his last time up and scored the first run for the Chill in this game. Suzuki works in a pressure situation, strike one, here to Blake Porter. Or if you will, again, on the theme of metrics, a high leverage situation. Another good way for evaluators to evaluate pitchers these days, especially in the bullpen. Doesn't hurt to have a starter that can pitch in high leverage situations, though, as this pitch misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Blake Porter.
Porter had that long double against the wall earlier. He's 1 for 1.
Typically, obviously, your relievers or your closers will come in the highest leverage situations. This ball is hit sharply on the ground to right field. In right field, it's Ushery picking it up as Jones crosses the plate. And moving to third is Swanji Peng, who is actually running on the pitch. He stopped at second base to figure out where the baseball was, but then made his way to third. So the hit and run single and an RBI for Blake Porter, who is now 2 for 2 in this game.
And hit and run to pull the second baseman off of his original position, leaving a hole for Porter to hit a sharp ground ball out to Ushery in right field. And the Palm Springs Chill take a 3-0 lead.
3-0 here in the third, as Suzuki deals a strike on the outer corner.
See, Suzuki, you're talking about high leverage situations. Suzuki's got to realize that he's 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. If he's able to get a ground ball and his defense can turn a double play, going back and hitting some pine.
We saw a couple of double plays in the first game of our doubleheader today. That was between the Lumberjacks and the Grizzly. The Grizzly would win that one 4-3 was the final. Here's a strike here to Josh Hines. He's 0 for 1. He reached on an error by the third baseman, Antonio Carta. His first time around back in the second. He would score the second run of the ball game as Suzuki muscles this pitch in. A small grunt from him on the mound, misses outside. And
Go ahead.
Andres, you and Josh Sperber were on the call in that game one. You guys had the pleasure of talking to a guy who wears a World Series ring in Bobby Jenks.
Yeah.
Pitches outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Despite being a diehard Cub fan, that man is a Chicago legend, bringing a World Series to a suffering team. I know a little bit about being a fan of a suffering team. That White Sox team hadn't seen a World Series in over 80-some years. And I know a lot of my friends, when I was younger, I was probably like 10 years old, if 8 years old around that time. I remember seeing a World Series come to Chicago. As a Cub fan, that's still pretty cool.
Longtime reliever, pitched for 7 years in the show. As Suzuki deals a 3-2, a little bit high, and Hines will take a walk to load up the bases.
Not only Hines, but the manager for the A's are going to come out and talk to Suzuki. This always interests me. Suzuki is one of the guys from Japan, and a lot of those guys really don't speak a lot of English, so I always wondered how they find a way to relay a message, especially in a tough situation like this.
Yeah, in this case, we don't get an interpreter, which... Talk about the coolest job in baseball. It might be the interpreter for Shohei Ohtani. And I believe his interpreter is one of his best friends, and
Yes.
They basically just get to hang out, and he just basically gets to go out. And here's how the conversation probably goes. Manager comes out, says, "How you feeling?" And of course, what is Shohei going to say? "No, I'm feeling bad. No, I'm feeling great. I'm throwing 101 on the mound." And the translator just basically gets to say, "No, he's good."
Yeah, in my time with the Twins, I got to know the Spanish translator pretty well. That's Elvis Martinez. He's been the translator for guys like Nelson Cruz when he's going through his own thing, for Jose Barrios when he was on the club.
This ball spanked into center field off the bat of Ojeda. That's going to drive in 2 for the Chill. Scoring on the play was Pang and Porter. Hines moves up to second. It's a 2 RBI single for Ojeda, who is now 2 for 2 and 4 RBIs on the day.
And the Chill now breaking it wide open, a 5-run lead here in the 3rd inning, and Suzuki's still on the mound with only 1 out in the inning.
5-0 is the score here, bottom of the 3rd. The Chill lead it. Suzuki is struggling on the mound. He got through the first pretty easily, but then ran into some trouble there in the 2nd, and now he's finding more trouble here in the 3rd. Throws strike 1 to Carlos Lenos, who's 0 for 1. Here's another good one, Andres. Me and Josh were on the call a couple of days ago talking about jobs in baseball and how it's difficult, and I was trying to just provide some general advice for anybody out there listening who may have a son or maybe themselves is looking for a job in baseball, son or daughter, and talked about the importance of being able to be fluid in computer science, coding, things of that nature. Another huge one is being fluid in Spanish.
Yes.
Talking about a guy with a translator there with Suzuki on the mound, but yes, being able to speak Spanish, so prevalent in the game, and if you can speak Spanish, that will take you a long way working around this game if you love it. Swing and a miss here from Lenos. He is down on strikes for the 2nd time today. Suzuki's 3rd strikeout of the afternoon, but the Chill still lead it 5-0 here, bottom of the 3rd.
There's some life in Suzuki. He's able to still throw strikes. Just the Chill have found a way to continuously hit off of him, and it looks like they're going to roll the inning over as Suzuki drops the ball right on top of the mound and heads over to the dugout.
So we'll roll the inning over. The Chill lead it 5-0. They pour on 3 runs there in the bottom of the 3rd, as we will move to the 4th here in Palm Springs. We go to the fourth here with the Palm Springs Chill leading over the Canada A's. They lead it 5-0. It'll be the 3-hole guy, Colton Kendrick, to bat here in the top of the fourth. Big lefty stands in. He's 1 for 1 with a big triple his last time up to right field. Strike one here to him. So far, so good for Jesse Galindo on the mound for the Chill. This ball is taken for a ball. Talking a little bit about how you guys got to talk to Bobby Jenks, former closer for the White Sox. He pitched 7 years in the show. 2 All-Star years in 2006 and 2007. And just some tremendous numbers over his career. 41 saves in that 06 showing and 40 the next year in 07 to give him those 2 All-Star appearances. A career ERA, let's see here as I get it all sorted out, a career ERA of 3.53, career WAR of 8.3. Heard you guys talking a little bit just about everything and how special he mentioned it was to win a World Series. Obviously, that's something you dream about as a kid, and for him it really came to life.
Really early in his career, too. 3 years in.
Yeah, power pitcher through upper 90s and back in the, I guess that would be the mid-2000s there. That was still a pretty high number as this ball is grounded on a couple of hops to the first baseman over there in Swan Ji Pang, who flips it to Galindo covering for the first out.
Yeah, last night when I was doing a little bit of research on him, you Google his name, the first thing that comes up, pitcher for the White Sox and Red Sox. It also marks that he threw 102 in April of some year in the early 2000s, and I thought it was really funny that that was what was marked by Baseball Almanac, and that was the most prevalent thing that should be put on his description when you Google him.
If there's one thing that will always be prevalent in baseball, it's velocity. There's something about it that is so captivating. And it's also captivating in the way that they deliver the pitch as well. It depends on who's throwing the pitch. This ball is hit off the end of the bat into left field. Still drifting back, though. It might have been squared up more than I thought. Catching it on the run out there is the left fielder, Blake Porter, who moves all the way to the warning track in front of the Sherman's Deli sign out there. Second out here. It's a loud out off the bat of the cleanup man, Colton Traeger.
Yeah, if that ball kept going, it probably would have hit the M on Sherman's. That was I thought it wasn't hit well either. It didn't have that pop that you usually hear from a wooden bat. Maybe that's just the strength that he's got.
Not super loud off the bat, but that ball deep into left field kept carrying, and like you mentioned, Andres, it didn't really sound very loud off the bat.
No, not at all.
We've talked about metrics and evaluating, and there's another evaluating tool. Guys will look for the sound off the bat. That's a big thing in evaluating a hitter and his power, as Ushery is the hitter who fouls this one away.
Speaking of sound in sports, just totally random side story. Last night, I room with Josh. You'll hear him on the cast sometimes, and two of the clubbies, Will and John, and they were taking some putts in our room. We got a little glass there with some golf balls. I've never putted. I've never touched anything related to golf. And John was sharing some stuff with me about how it sounds off the putt and how sound is a huge part of the game in so many different types of sports that use hand to tool contacts, even hockey, golf, cricket, and all these other sports where you're hitting a ball for contact, and the sound does a lot to talk about the quality of the play you're making.
Strike three swinging. Ushery is down on a breaking ball. Galindo continues his success here in the fourth. 1-2-3 inning, and the A's are left scoreless again. Score is 5-0 in favor of the Chill as we go to the bottom half of the fourth. Keep it right here for more CWL action. Back in Palm Springs, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. We go to the home half of the fourth here. It'll be Jesse Galindo to lead things off for the Chill. He's 0 for 1. Chill get 2 runs in the second and added on in the third with 3.
Jesse Galindo.
6 hits as a team so far. 1 big extra base hit by Blake Porter. And 2 big hits by Kazuya Ohira in the second and the third. 4 RBIs for him on 2 singles. As a new pitcher has been brought into the ballgame for the Canada A's, this is Kyle Armsworthy. He is the sidewinding righty.
Yeah, he's pitched in 5 innings in 3 different games. He has the win from last night's game against the Lumberjacks on the 25th. He's got 5 strikeouts. He's only allowed 2 earned runs, 4 hits in 5 innings that he's pitched.
Taking ball 1 is Galindo, who does double duty today as the starter, and now he hits in the order. We kind of skimmed over that back in the second. He takes outside here.
Fisher's the first pitcher to hit for himself that we've seen through all 6 teams.
2 balls and a strike to the pitcher Galindo, who has done well on the mound for the Chill. Looking to start things off here in the bottom of the order. He hits 9 in the order, trying to get it back to the top. Grounded down the line in right, bounding over the first base bag, picked up in right by Ushery over by the foul line. Holds Galindo to a single, but he'll turn the lineup back over as he is aboard at first base on the single.
Help yourself out, Galindo.
The right fielder.
Doing everything on the mound.
Bonsky.
And now giving himself a base hit. And he's not allowed any runs yet.
An early candidate for MVP of this game. So a good job there by the pitcher to help himself out as he is aboard at first. Next to nothing lead as the first pitch comes in. That is Tyler Bonsky.
Bonsky's 1 for 2 today. Helped himself out earlier. Actually helped his team out with a single, and then he grounded out.
Swing and a miss here. Bonsky, a long, lanky frame to him. Pretty good lead man frame in the right-handed hitter. Armsworthy set, deals, chopped over to second. That's Eddie McCabe. Only play will be at first as he fields it on a couple of hops. And he throws out Bonsky. Moving up to second base is Galindo on the chopper.
And McCabe playing the ball. Mentioned in the last broadcast, or not in the last broadcast, but in the first inning, just like Walker Paz on the other side of the infield, McCabe charges that ball and plays the ball instead of letting the ball play him. And that's how you get a lot of balls that kick off of the heel of the glove or your wrist, and they end up in the outfield. You got to play the ball and make the play to first. Look out over on the chill side. That's a line drive foul ball.
Watch your lips over there. We got our guy Steve Frary, who is our greeter out here trying to get some 50-50 raffle.
Might have to buy a ticket from one of these days.
Might have to. Try your luck sometime. Although, I am probably one of the most unlucky people in the world, so
Yeah.
I think I'll be just fine saving some money. And
Steve, one of the hardest working people here, part of the California Winter League staff.
one of the hardest working, and not only one of the hardest working, how about just one of the best people here in general?
Oh, absolutely. He's always got a positive attitude. He's dancing in the stands, making people laugh. And between half innings, we'll be playing some music on the PA system. I just look down and I'll see him dancing, and it makes me smile every time.
Pollock is the hitter who takes outside. It's like our owner, Andrew Starkey, says if you have a problem with Steve Frary, it's probably
It's not his fault.
Not a problem on his end. It's definitely a problem on your end. One of the greatest guys. He's a greeter out here again. We have a full staff out here who does a tremendous job for us. We talked about what it takes at the major league level, referencing that article, coming together as a collective group. That is so true in all levels of baseball as it is for us here. All of us doing our part for this game that we love. Ball hit into center field. Moving to his right a couple of steps is Travius Ford. He handles it with two hands, and Pollock flies out to center for the second out.
That's a good hit there. Good swing. Nice sound. But that's the thing about baseball. You can hit a ball as well as you want, but if the outfielder can play it, you just got to let it go, unfortunately.
Yes, Andres, playing off of the theme of luck. Of
Yes.
50-50. In all seriousness, though, talk about a game where you have to be lucky at times. It is baseball. But one of those games where you put yourself in position to have good luck. This ball is cut on and missed by Gavin Jones. Jones is 0 for 1. He walked his last time up and scored a run. Score is 5-0 in favor of the Chill. As this ball is ripped into left field. Rounding third and possibly trying to score is going to be Galindo. He crosses the plate standing up. Moving up to second on the throw is Jones, who stays hot and keeps things rolling for the Chill, who have now scored in 3 consecutive innings.
Yeah, great piece of hitting there. There's an RBI single for Jones there. A way to advance on that throw as well.
Score is now 6-0. And it'll be Swanji Pang, who singled and scored a run his last time up. Skies this ball into center. It's now drifting out to left. That is Collier Rutledge, who almost drops it. This ball almost squirts out of the glove there, but it does not. So another run for the Chill in the home half of the fourth. And they lead it 6-0 over the Canada A's as we move to the fifth here in Palm Springs. Back in Palm Springs, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. 6 runs across for the Palm Springs Chill. They lead it 6-0 here as we move to the 5th. Chill came into this game, Andres, 2-1 record. The A's 1-3. They were at the bottom alongside the Grizzly, although the Grizzly won in the first game of today's doubleheader against the Lumberjacks. Lead man here is Collier Rutledge. He's 0 for 1, a fly out into center his first time around. Swats at this one and hits it foul.
There's going to be Pizzana at the plate.
So Pizzana hits in the spot of Rutledge, as we'll probably see a ton of substitutions, and actually did get part of that lineup picture that we got earlier. It actually, on the one side of it, features all the position changes here in the 5th. So we're going to get a ton of them here. We'll just keep track of that as we move along. It's still Jesse Galindo on the mound for the Chill, who hasn't lost a step. 4 strikeouts for him in this game. He's only allowed 1 hit. No runs as the Chill lead it 6-0.
Let me help you out in your lineup card. It looks like Fukuda's coming up next and Chaplin right after him.
So a ton of substitutions as this ball
nearly knocks them both out.
almost hits Fukuda as he has to do his best dance moves down there. Do the cha-cha slide real quick. Slide to the right. 2 hops this time.
You don't need to speak English to know what getting out of the way means.
Ball is hit foul off the bat of Pizzana, who has entered the ball game. Galindo again on the mound has given a tremendous effort for the Chill. A couple of 1, 2, 3 innings in the 2nd and last inning in the 4th. Hasn't had to face more than 4 batters in any innings so far, though.
He also hasn't pitched more than 5 pitches in any at-bat.
Swing and a miss, but it squirts away out of the glove of the catcher. So on the drop third, Pizzana is going to be safe at first.
That's going to be a pass ball drop third strike.
That'll be on Josh Hines doing the catching duties today for the Chill. Chill wearing their all-white uniforms. I do have to say, they probably have my favorite logo, favorite jersey of any of the teams.
The A's?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the Chill.
Oh, the Chill.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do like the A's as well. It kind of looks like the University of Arkansas, their logo.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking with Noah Fish, the marketer here in his first year, and he was showing me all the Photoshop and logos, and these are some pretty intricate logos.
Another fan favorite is obviously the Power. I like the Chill, though. The all whites, there's something clean to it with that blue. As Fukuda chops foul, the new hitter for the A's in Fukuda. So the lefty hits with a runner aboard after the drop third strike. Chill lead at 6-0. Setting up outside is Hines. The ball is outside. Tapped over to the third baseman. On to second for 1. That's all they're going to get on the feed from Gavin Jones to Carlos Lanos. So they get the force play at second for the first out.
It was a good idea to try to turn it, but Lanos elected not to. It's better to let the runner reach on the fielder's choice than throwing it away than having him go all the way to second.
And we've seen plenty of balls thrown away here early on in the Winter League so far. Pretty unusual. More often than not, you see more of the errors on the fielding side of things, but we've seen a good share of throwing errors as well as Pernell Chaplin digs in for the A's. Chaplin hitting in place of Antonio Carta, who was 0 for 1. He struck out looking back in the 3rd.
And you're going to see a couple of errors in the beginning week between these teams. These are a lot of guys who never met before from all different parts of the country, and they got to find a way to work together. And, a lot of the guys haven't probably played baseball since August or September.
And as you and Josh have mentioned on multiple broadcasts, probably one of the only places in the country that baseball is even happening right now.
Probably here, and one other place I could even fathom is maybe Arizona. There's a
Runner
stolen
moves.
base there by Fukuda.
Stolen base for Fukuda as Hines couldn't make the throw in time. So a stolen base after reaching on the fielder's choice. Good atmosphere out here in Palm Springs for baseball, and we do a plethora of promotions. Tomorrow will be Out-of-Towners Day, where out-of-state U.S. residents get in for $5. So if you're in the area, come out to the ballpark and come see a couple of games. Again, every day here will be a doubleheader. All the way up until that would be February the 12th, we'll have a triple header in that day as we progress into the playoffs. Off day on Super Bowl Sunday the 13th, and then our semifinals will be Monday the 14th with the championship game on the 15th.
We missed it, but Pernell Chapman struck out swinging, and now it's DeYard Kimbrough taking the new DH spot from, that is, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen struck out his last time, so Kimbrough in place of him. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner at second. That is Fukuda out there in scoring position. Kimbrough trying to bring across the first run for the A's, who trail 6-0, tapped out to the mound. Galindo steps and feeds to first on the ground ball out. And Galindo again with another great inning as he works out of it. Galindo has not allowed a single run, and his squad, the Chill, lead it. 6-0, we go to the home half of the 5th. We're back here in Palm Springs. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, and Chill well out in front, 6-0. They've gotten some good help from their starter on the mound, Jesse Galindo, who's been phenomenal in this game so far. Galindo with 5 strikeouts. As he has done his thing, he's only allowed 1 hit in the ball game. As Blake Porter digs in, the lefty will face off against the new pitcher on the mound for the A's. That is Antonio Carta, the righty, who kicks, deals. Strike 1 there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blake Porter is 2 for 2, a big double back in the second and then a single in the third with an RBI. He has also scored 2 runs and a good offensive day for him. Hits this ball back up the middle. The shortstop Paz lets it go under the glove for a base hit. So Porter is now 3 for 3 on the base hit. Another single for him, his second single of the day to go along with the double. And when you're hot, you're hot. And Blake Porter is certainly feeling it today at the dish.
Yeah, some defensive changes for the A's. Eddie McCabe out in left field. Yar Kimbrough at second, and McFarland moving to first.
So plenty of changes for the A's as Josh Hines stands in. 0 for 1, he reached on a walk his last time up, reached on an error in the second. He has a run scored, one of those 6 runs for the Chill, who lead it 6-0. Strike is right down Main Street there from Carta. Pretty quiet afternoon after the Chill have jumped out to a big 6-run lead. This ball is fouled away off to the right. Back into the park back there. There is a park behind us outside of Palm Springs Stadium, famous Palm Springs Stadium. The site of where the California Angels used to play spring training. This ball is grounded back towards the middle. And the A's new second baseman, it looks like that might be Ushery, I believe, could not field it cleanly. Or it's either Ushery or Chris O'Neill.
That's actually Kimbrough at second.
Alrighty, third time's a charm. Kimbrough can't handle it. It's an error on Kimbrough. Porter moves up to second, so we'll do our best to track along with all of the new substitutions for the A's. Runners at first and second, and the batter is Ohira, who turns and burns on this ball. Well foul off towards the batting cages down in left field.
Chiller threatening again here to score. They've scored in every inning except for the first. 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 1 in the fourth. Currently leading at 6-0 as this one smoked into deep left field.
This ball back at the track, and it's picked up on a bounce out there. Scoring on the play is going to be Porter, pardon me. Porter scores. Hines into third. It's a double for Ohira. And much like Blake Porter, who started the inning off, Ohira is scorching red hot, his third hit of the ball game, and his 5th RBI on the day.
And it's going to be a new pinch hitter, Xiaoping Ho. He's coming up. He takes the first strike.
A double for Ohira to deep left.
Now batting for the Chill, number 13,
Xiaoping
Ho.
Hits in place of Carlos Lanos, who is 0 for 2. This ball is hit out of play. Loud reaction from the fans here. It caught me off guard there.
Yeah, landed next to a couple out there. He caught them by surprise, landed right behind them.
What are we doing out here, Andres? Aren't you supposed to bring your glove to the ball game?
I got my glove up here. I'm prepared.
You do. You got the good old first baseman's mitt. This ball drifting off to the right and foul. Deep down there. Ushery gave it a look. Oh, yes, the first baseman met good old Rawlings. I was a big Rawlings guy myself.
Yeah, I played first base, catcher, and pitcher in high school and a little bit in college with the baseball club of the Loyola Ramblers of Chicago.
Here's the ball hit into center field. It's going to be caught in center. Tagging and scoring on the sacrifice fly is Josh Hines. So 2 runs across here in the 5th as the Chill extend their lead even further. It's now 8-0. They lead it over the Canada A's.
Peter's going to stay at second. Runner at third will come around, tag, and score. So Hines comes in. He's got 2 runs on the day, scoring the 2nd and 8th run. As the Chill have scored now in every inning. Look out. That was real close to us. In every inning except for the first.
We do have a new hitter. I think it's Justin Van Weigerden hitting in place of Jesse Galindo. So Galindo's day will be done on the mound as Van Weigerden replaces him, swinging and missing for strike 2.
He's also got the road pants on.
Ah, yes. Going with what he's comfortable with, likely what he brought on his own. Swinging and fouling this one back.
And most likely those pants rip really easily. You could slide and it rips, so maybe that's the issue while they go get him a new pair of slacks.
Could be that. We were talking about our favorite jerseys. The Chill personally are my favorite.
They look so good in the whites.
Definitely not the favorites of our clubbies, Will and John, though. Trying to get the dirt out of the white is never fun.
Oh.
This ball spanked out of play and foul.
Yeah, John, this morning we were here at the ballpark every day really early. I know Josh gets out here around 7:30ish. I get here around 7:45, 8 o'clock. But John was telling me a little clubby trick about cleaning some shoes. I forget what the product was called, but you didn't know with me.
Yes.
And I got to try that after the game.
It works very well on the spikes. I don't know how well it works with regular tennis shoes, but yes, you want to use the, I don't know if we can name drop the name brand, but this ball has bounced out to Kimbrough, the second baseman. Somewhat of a wild throw, but they still get Weigerden on the ground out for the second out. So moving up to third will be Ohira, but yes, using the bathroom cleaner. Well, what the heck? It's using the scrubbing bubbles.
Yeah.
The bathroom cleaner that foams up. And it's a good one for you, Andres. When I was playing in college at Kansas City, Kansas Community College, they made us shine our shoes before every game, so I'm all too well known with scrubbing bubbles, as this ball is flied out into left off the bat of Chandler Palias, who hit in place of Tyler Bonsky. So 2 runs across for the Chill as they extend their lead. 8-0 is our score as we move to the 6th here in Palm Springs.
Walker!
Back in Palm Springs at Palm Springs Stadium, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda.
Good job, lady.
We go to the top half of the 6th. This will be Walker Paz to set the table here for the A's, taking strike 1.
We got some defensive changes. We'll get in order from outfield, infield, and then behind the plate is next pitch on the way.
Ball is tapped over to first on 2 bounces, and making the play over there is
Van Weidergen, one of the new entries.
Weigerden, yes. New entry. He came in for Pang.
So going from left to right in the outfield, you got Porter Pollock staying in the game. He's played, I believe, in every single game without a substitution. And Chandler Pallius out and right, going left to right from third to first. You got Jones, Lenny Peters now coming into the game at short, Sean Pin Ho at second, and Justin Van Weidergen, who just made the play at first. Behind the plate, new catcher is Devin Fisher. And then as we announce Akudo Kanai on the mound.
This ball grounded over towards Gavin Jones. Long throw, and it's not fielded cleanly by Weigerden, so that'll be an error on the first baseman. Not able to squeeze that throw. And let's see, that was
It's Gavin Jones.
batting. That was Kimbrough. Correct.
Next up
I
for
believe I saw number 10 out there.
Number 27, Travis McFarland.
Actually, not exactly sure. We'll get that to you as soon as we know. Again, lots of defensive substitutions, and in turn, trying to figure out who all is on the baseball field. So that was Chris O'Neill at first now. Some of these teams we've seen it, like the Power and I believe it was it maybe the Grizzly in that last game, really didn't make any substitutions. I believe we've pretty much seen this from the A's in every contest that they have had. They'll flip the entire lineup around the 5th inning, so it becomes a little bit more difficult to follow along, although we'll try to bring you every update as we go. Swing and a miss from the righty. This is
McFarland,
McFarland at the plate.
number 27.
Channeled my inner Billy Bean there from the movie Moneyball, pointing at Andres.
Got a movie star from that movie here
yes,
with us.
we do. It is definitely one of my favorite scenes in all of movie history, but definitely probably in of baseball movie history. The scene of Billy Bean talking to the scouts says this pitch is missing downstairs. O'Neill was running on the play, but it doesn't matter. It's ball 4 to McFarland. Absolutely love that scene where it's Jonah Hill. And I'm forgetting his name as a character. But the scene where Bean is in the room with all the scouts and he's pointing over. It's Pete. He's pointing over to Pete, and every time he points, Pete says something, whether it's
a number,
the on-base percentage or whatever. And Pete looks at Billy and he's like, "Do you want me to speak?" And Billy says, "Yes, when I point at you."
Speak.
And then the scouts say, "Billy, does Pete really need to be here?" And he says, yes. He does.
And he's like, "What's our biggest problem here?" And scouts go around the table listing other stuff. We need this many runs. Like, no. Gotta ask him what it was like working with such a talented cast.
This is Connor Donahue at the plate. Yes, we do have Barry Moss out here, a long-tenured scout for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He was actually featured in that scene. Barry has been the field coordinator out here, just basically helping out all of the players, making sure their stats are correct. I've also seen him work in the outfield with a couple of guys after games, trying to get extra work in for them to help further along their development as Donahue swings and misses. So Moss, a guy who's been around the game, has a lot of expertise in many areas of the game, trying to help out these players. But yes, he was in that scene where Billy is talking to the scouts. Has a couple of lines in that scene. I've heard him talk to a couple people about shooting that scene and how he just raves about how much of a class act that Brad Pitt was.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt was very welcoming of all of those scouts in that scene. He said, again, I was just overhearing Barry tell this story, but he was talking about how Brad Pitt remembered the name of all of them.
Wow.
And even the next day they came back to shoot, he still remembered all their names. And just talking about what a class act Brad Pitt was in filming that scene and filming that movie as the ball misses outside to Donahue.
Full count, runners on first and second, only one out. Kudo Kanai is just a pitch away from getting out of the inning if he can get a ground ball and the infield can turn two.
Score is 8-0 in favor of the Chill. The A's just have one hit that came all the way back in the first, courtesy of Colton Kendrick, as Donahue now swings and misses. First strikeout of the ballgame for Hakuto Kanai, who came in to relieve Jesse Galindo here in the sixth.
The left fielder, number 22, Taylor
Another
Brunson.
change. Taylor Brunson come in for Aaron Ushery.
So a full new squad outside of Walker Paz for the A's. Almost reminiscent of, I always remember when guys are platoon like that, one in, one out. Always am reminded of that Kentucky Wildcats squad coached by John Calipari that one year in college basketball, for those of you who like your college hoops. Ball misses in on Brunson.
I just started getting into college hoops. I used to broadcast at the University of St. Thomas as they moved to Division I, and it is a whole new animal going from Division III.
Love me some college hoops as Brunson watches this one down and away. I was fortunate enough to go to the University of Kansas.
Mm-hmm. Great basketball.
And did some, yes, absolutely. Did some broadcasting for them. Got to sit on the floor at Allen Fieldhouse, one of the best sites in the country, as Brunson taps it foul. Talk about some of the best places in the country for baseball, though. As far as the college game is concerned, it's definitely at the top of the throne. It's the SEC for Division I.
Definitely. They have everything out there.
Oh, boy. LSU, another one that comes to mind is Mississippi State.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, they get after it.
They have those beer celebrations out in the outfield on a home run. And who needs a water feature when you got fans willing to go ahead and throw some liquids up in the air?
Vanderbilt, another one. Yeah, that is a dream for any amateur player to play in the SEC. Obviously, good atmospheres around the country in the Big 12, the Pac-12. I was fortunate at one point to go to Stanford as this ball is lined into center field. This is going to bring across the first run of the ballgame for the A's. That is going to be O'Neill scoring from second on the RBI single off the bat of Brunson. A line drive back up the middle. Runners at the corners now. The A's still trail by 7. It's 8-1 in favor of the Chill.
That's the first hit since the first inning from Kendrick when he hit that triple off the wall in right field.
So the second hit of the game for the A's and an RBI for Brunson. Now it'll be Adrian Pizzana. Reached base on a drop third strike his last time up. Hits his ball foul. He was well late on it. But that SEC environment, Andres, one of the best environments in all of college baseball. I was starting to mention I was out at Stanford University. That is a great environment as this ball is lifted into right. Camped under it is the right fielder who makes the play for the third out. We'll continue that conversation as we move to the home half of the sixth here in Palm Springs. The Chill lead it by 7. It's 8-1. Back with more CWL action. Keep it right here.
The center fielder, number 29.
To the bottom of the sixth we go. Mitch Glesser alongside Andres Tejeda. 8-1 is our score. The Chill lead it. AJ Pollock will be the lead man, staying in the ballgame for the Chill. He's 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch back in the first, a ground out in the third, and a fly out in the fourth. Still Antonio Carta who throws inside here. 1 ball, 1 strike. We were talking about good atmospheres in baseball before we went to break. As far as MLB, I know for guys like me who are just diehard baseball lovers in every sense, it's usually a goal of everybody to see how many ballparks you can go to. How many have you been to, Andres?
Let me check. I got an app for that.
There you go. This ball scorched into center field. Moving to his left out there is the center fielder to make the play for the first out.
I've been to both Chicago stadiums. I can definitely cross that off. I've been to 6 ballparks to attend a game. I've been to Philadelphia. I've seen that one. I've seen PNC Park. I've seen Washington, D.C. for the Nationals. I have seen Tropicana Field.
Yeah. Beautiful field.
Trying to think, where else have I gone where I've seen some nice stadiums. So let's see, that's 10. Yeah, that's about 10 ballparks that I've been to. So a third of the way through.
This ball is looped into right field. Off the bat of Jones, it's down, and fumbling it for just a tad is the right fielder out there. But Jones is aboard here, his second hit of the ball game. And he adds to a pretty good day. He has walked, and again, he had a hit back in the fourth with an RBI, so pretty good day. It's been a good day offensively for the Chill in general, who lead it 8-1. I'm trying to do the math in my head, but it's kind of corkscrewing my brain around. But I've been to a good amount of ballparks, a good amount on the East Coast. My favorite on the East Coast has to be Fenway.
That's the other one I've seen. That's 11.
Historical Fenway, just beautiful. Probably somewhat similar feel is Wrigley Field as Bill Pearson digs in for the Chill. Wrigley and Fenway both kind of have that mystique to them. Those are some of my favorites. And then, of course, just being from Kansas City, I love Kauffman. And that's trying to eliminate any bias. I definitely would probably still put Kaufman in my top, probably my top 3, really. I also love Camden Yards. That's a beautiful park.
Just thought of another one. Busch Stadium I've seen.
Busch, yes, I've been there.
That's a stadium I got to go see. I've heard it's beautiful on the inside.
Ball to the backstop, Jones will move up. It is beautiful. I've been to the new one, and I was actually really fortunate enough. The game that I saw there, I was, oh boy, this is really taking me back. I don't think it was more than about 12 years old, which is scary to think how long ago that was now. I actually watched Tim Lincecum on the mound. He faced off against, I believe it was Adam Wainwright in the game there. So I remember being all psyched to see the freak pitch, the 2-time Cy Young winner, and all those statues outside of Busch. It's very cool. Obviously a baseball town. They didn't care much for the Rams at all. As Pearson swings and misses, strike 2.
And we've still yet to see the power of Bill Pearson. Only time we ever saw was day before at the workouts. Saw him hit a bomb over left field.
Fighting to stay alive, swinging and fouling this one back. It's one thing to have raw power, and it's another thing to have that in-game power. So scouts will usually evaluate guys based on their raw power, and then judging on their bat-to-ball skills or their swing and miss ability, they'll translate it to in-game power. Here's some in-game power. Deep to center field, back at the track. It is caught out there, turning around the center fielder a little bit, tagging up and moving to third as the throw comes in as Jones. So Pearson shows it off a little bit out there as he flies out to deep center field, making good contact.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job on Fukuda to track that ball down.
Pretty good job by Fukuda, who almost got turned around. He moved back to his right and then spun around, but he hangs with it to make the play in that bright sun. As strike 1 comes into Blake Porter, who will remain in the game, and why take him out when he's this hot? He's 3 for 3 in the ball game.
Oh, absolutely on fire.
A double in the second, and then back-to-back singles in the third and the fifth. Taps this one foul. He's scored 3 runs, and he also has an RBI in this game. So the Chill are being powered away by Porter, who hits in a 2-strike count, though. 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, the Chill lead at 8-1 on 11 base hits. Just 2 base hits for the Canada A's. This ball is ripped into right, and it's off of the glove of the right fielder. Porter turns. He's digging for second as the ball is picked up out in deep right field and thrown in. It's another RBI on the base hit from Porter. So Gavin Jones scores, and the lead is now extended to 9-1. And the Chill, Andres, have scored in every frame since the second.
Yep, they are leading 9-1 now. Absolutely insane. The Canada A's are going to change their pitcher, but they need to find a way to shut it down defensively. That's been the biggest problem for the A's this season. But we'll take a break here as we get a new pitcher for the A's.
Alrighty, new pitcher for the A's as the Chill lead at 9-1. We'll be right back in just a minute. Back after the pitching change was made and first pitch to the backstop on the wild pitch.
The catcher, number 36,
The
Devin
catcher will be
Fisher.
Devin Fisher for the Chill.
Okay, Kevin, RBI right there.
So Colton Traeger's first time on the mound is labeled as a catcher and a first baseman. We'll see what the man behind the plate can do in front of it.
So Traeger on the hill. Oh boy, and you can just tell right away that he is a catcher by nature with that arm motion on the mound. Throwing it almost like a dart with that short arm motion. That's why the catchers are always the best BP throwers, Andres. They have that short, quick, dart-like motion.
Mm-hmm.
Never much of a BP thrower myself. This is Donnie Speranza at the plate. This ball to the backstop. Trying to score will be Porter, who scores. So Porter scores. 2 runs across for the Chill. I was looking at the other side of my scorebook. 10-1 is the score in favor of the guys in white. As the A's are just trying to really just get out of this game in general. This is one of those throwaway games if you're the A's.
Mm-hmm.
This ball is skied high in the air to left field. Shortstop, third baseman, and the left fielder converging, and nobody makes the play. Paz lets it go foul.
That should have been the left fielder's ball all day. I'm not sure why Paz called him off. O'Neill has a better line to the ball. I appreciate the hustle from Chaplin and Paz, but that's O'Neill's ball all day.
I was focused on the ball in the air, Andre, so I didn't really see the jump that O'Neill got and left, but it couldn't have been a very good one because that ball hung up forever and he wasn't really even close. So another life for the man at the plate in Speranza. Check, swing, and he'll take a walk, a free pass, and he's aboard with 2 outs.
That's a runner that does not belong on base, but they're going to keep the line moving.
So now we'll get
Lenny
Peters at the
Okay,
dish
Lenny, make it count.
from Curacao, 6'3", 180 pounds for the 22-year-old who digs in.
Come in for O'Hara, who went 3 for 3 today.
Strike 1. And this is Colton Traeger just trying to save some arms in the A's bullpen as the catcher will try to finish out this inning. 2 outs, swing and a miss. Couldn't catch up upstairs. Strike 2.
Traeger, again, his first outing. Just got to throw strikes. Let him hit it and trust your defense. As Fisher's going to get as big of a lead as he wants, as McFarland's not holding him on.
This ball lifted but foul. What's interesting about this game too, Andres, is that there really haven't been very many walks issued by the A's. Typically in a game where you see this many runs, you'll see a lot of free passes from the team, but really all of the runs have been earned, so to speak, by the Chill.
Mm-hmm. On 12 hits.
Yes, as far as just doing the damage with the bats.
This is the most hits we've seen thus far in any game at the California Winter League.
Gotten a couple of multi-hit games from both Gavin Jones, Blake Porter, and then also Kazuya Ohira. This ball hit into right field is going to fall in front of the right fielder for a base hit. So another hit as the hit parade continues, and they're just going to roll over the inning here. So that'll do it in the bottom half of the 6th. The Chill add 2 more. They lead it 10-1 as we go to the top half of the 7th. Last try for the A's coming to bat. Back in Palm Springs, Mitch Klessner alongside Andres Tejeda. The A's will take one last crack at it here in the top of the 7th. They trail 10-1 behind the Palm Springs Chill. This is Fukuda at the dish for the A's.
At the plate for the A's, the center fielder, number 1, Messiah
He came in,
Fukuda.
let's see, he came in the last time in the 5th.
He's 0 for 1.
He's 0 for 1 on the fielder's choice. 2 balls and a strike. Again, a ton of substitutions being made earlier by the A's. As this ball runs inside and it's going to hit Fukuda, so he's aboard after being hit by the pitch.
And that's going to sting a little bit, the way that he bent it. Hit right on the side of his body, and that's an exposed and sensitive part right by the ribcage.
So Purnell Chaplin will be the batter with a man on first. Looking ahead to tomorrow's matchups, it'll be the Palm Springs Power taking on the British Columbia Bombers in the morning at 10 a.m., followed by the Alberta Grizzly taking on the Palm Springs Chill in the afternoon. So the Chill will get another crack at it tomorrow as this ball is lofted into center field. In on the fists of Chaplin, but he has a base hit. Runners at first and second here, top of the 7th.
Good on Chaplin to take that pitch on inside and send it right back up the middle. That's always a tough pitch to do anything with. And he got a base hit and kept the line moving to possibly get something started here for the A's, at least to cut the lead down possibly. Not sure they're going to get another 9-run inning as they did yesterday to tie it, but you never know.
Handles that pitch well on the inner third. Just throwing the knob of the bat at it, just trying to get any sort of hard contact. It wasn't hard contact, but enough contact for him to reach base on the single. Want to thank our listeners and viewers for tuning in. You can catch our action all month long, or over the course of the next month, I should say, finding the link on the California Winter League homepage or going to YouTube under the Cal Winter League profile.
You can also keep track on social media, on Twitter, Cal Winter League, Instagram, and Facebook, California Winter League as well.
This ball in on the hands, hit in the air over to the first baseman over there.
They're going to call it a infield fly.
So an infield fly. The batter is out. One away here in the top of the 7th. The A's trail. Score is 10-1 in favor of the Chill.
Walker Paz.
So infield fly for the first down. Walker Paz will be the batter. He is the only player in the game for the A's that has not been substituted for.
Nope.
And he is 0 for 3. Just 3 hits in the ballgame for the A's, and that's not going to do it under any circumstances, Andres. You're going to need a lot more offensive help if you want to win ball games in this league. Here's some offensive help, drifting into left center field. Sliding out there is the left fielder to make the play.
He's got to tag back. That's going to be the game. All they got to do is throw it back to second.
Yep, so Fukuda never tagged up, and a deflating way for the ball game to end on a double play as the ball was caught in left field, and then Fukuda just didn't even really make an attempt to get back to second as he kept rounding all the way, and that will end the ball game on the double play. So the A's drop this one to the Palm Springs Chill, and so now the A's will go to 1-4 on the winter. The Chill will move to 3-1. That'll be a decent game tomorrow. In the morning game, the Power against the Bombers. The Power are 3-1 alongside the Chill now. So we'll look towards those games tomorrow. Wrapping this one up, it was a great start on the hill for Jesse Galindo, who gave a magnificent effort in this ball game. He went, 5 innings. Struck out 5, Andres. He only allowed 1 hit just a tremendous outing from their starter.
Again, Galindo, he has not allowed a single run in 9 innings of work. He has a total of 12 strikeouts on the year. And it's a shame to apologize. I thought he was on the A's, but that's exactly what you're going to get when you got good pitching. You're going to get wins. He pitched 53 pitches efficiently through 5 innings of work, and exactly 83% of those pitches for strikes. Kudu Kanai comes in and gets it done. He threw 37 pitches, just around 60% of those for strikes, allowed the only run. It was unearned, so it won't hurt his ERA, but allowed 2 hits and got 1 strikeout and a walk.
So how about this? Galindo came into the game with 1 game started and allowed no earned runs in his first start of the year. He allows no earned runs here, adds 5 strikeouts to give him 11 on the year, an early front runner for one of the best pitchers here in the California Winter League. The Chill would also get some offensive help, firing away in the 2nd inning with a leadoff double from Blake Porter. He eventually would score there on the 2 RBI single from Peters, and the rest was pretty much history. The Chill would get 3 more in the 3rd, courtesy of 3 hits in that inning. They would score again in the 4th, another couple of hits in that inning. In the 5th, they'd score 2 more, and in the 6th, 2 more. So they score in every frame except the 1st. Standout player offensively for the Chill was Blake Porter,
Absolutely,
who had 4 hits in the game. He was 4 for 4, 4 runs scored, 2 RBIs. A magnificent day from him at the plate. They also get a multi-hit game from Gavin Jones, as well as Kazuya Ohira, who also had 5 RBIs on 3 base hits, one of those an extra base hit. So an all-around effort from the Chill. They get a good start from Galindo, and they get some help offensively from the bats. A well-rounded effort as they improve to 3-1. For Mitch Glessner and Andres Tejeda, we will sign off here today, and we will look again to move on tomorrow. Again, join us in the morning at 10 a.m. when the Palm Springs Power take on the British Columbia Bombers. We will bring you that game live here from Palm Springs Stadium. So again, we will wrap this one up. Thank you for tuning in today, and we will see you all tomorrow in the morning.